Why? It's so loud. There's music going on really late. And chickens at 4 a.m. I think maybe my sleep is not so great here. He stopped talking for like a minute, and I was like, "Hey, it's done." I hope it comes across how loud this is. So loud. It's been 30 minutes. Why? Why? At least be a song and not the same thing. It's over. Nope, starting again. It's just different. It's been 1 hour. Hooray! It might be a guy singing. Or a woman singing. Live. I don't know. Maybe it's a recording. I guess if you lean into it, it could be nice. Shame on me slightly. I asked the teacher what the chanting was. Apparently it's when someone dies. So, there you go. Assume not. I guess it can still be annoying, but or wake you up and stuff, but still. Assume not. I think I need to not allow. I keep getting like sucked down this rabbit hole and addicted to debates, like political debates, like US political debates between the left and right, and they're just as brain rotty. I learn like very minor, tiny talking points from both sides, form no novel opinion about any specific concept that I actually care about. And it's tiring, it's draining, and they're long. And they're about America. which is important, obviously, but just really not becoming anything that I want to become by watching it. So I think I need to just ban myself from watching them. They're very addictive, though. Just a bunch of people yelling at each other, just a bunch of yelling ideologies and shit at each other. Not good faith debates there. Not good faith debates. I'm doing more Mongolian. And it's distracting me from my Mongolian practice. I'm learning the like the question words, how to construct a sentence. Seems easy. Subject, object, verb. And then if it's a question, you swap out one of the subject or the object with obviously something else, right? If it's the subject, you say who rather than I, turn it into a question. Or you swap the object, as in, you can say cup, or you could say what. And then a verb. And then you have to add like a little question thing at the end, which is a bear or a ver or a where. So next I should memorize the alphabet properly, and who, what, when, where, why, how, and what kind, which is another word, this and that. So I can say, what this, question word, which would be, it would be this what. So it would be, Erna, Yol. Erna, Yorve. Erna, Yorve. This, what, question mark. Erna, Yogad, ve. No, Yogad ve. Why this? I'm nailing it, guys. Oh, did I also mention... So, sometimes I like to go down linguistic rabbit holes for English as well. Whenever... Because I like... Language is cool. And I learnt about this thing called Schwa, which is like an upside down E. Nope, I just drew an E. Nope, that's a 6. Yeah, it's like that one. Schwa, which is the sound like neutral mouth sound. And apparently all vowels essentially tend to schwa in English accents. In lots of accents. When you speak in English. And so a lot of words actually, for example, take it's December. Did you hear it already? Has 3 E's in it. Right? December. The only one that has an air, the only one that's an E sound is the middle one. The other ones are de and sember, which is the neutral right? I'm going to, I'm gonna, I'ma do something. So it all schwazification, if you will. And I watched a video on a guy who suggested notation for the English language to make it easier to read, which I think is fun. And of all the symbols, there were 2 that stood out to me as like particularly useful, but the schwa one, game-changing. Okay, so take any vowel, and you put a dot on it, and then that implies that that vowel sound is a schwa. So you keep the vowel as it was, but you schwa it. So it helps with pronunciation. So you could say December, right? But let's say you're saying December. you go like this. See? December. You could do that with lots of words. You could do it with like kind is fine, right? But then you've got kind, which is obviously an I sound. But then bird. It's exactly the same as December. Bird. It's exactly the same sound. So, I mean, I don't know how you do I's with a dot, but maybe you just do a second dot above it. Which looks kind of funky, but you get the idea. Bird. December. Bird. Or like word. It's exactly the same fucking sound. Put a dot above it. Word. Schwaification. This should be a movement. And I actually think it would make teaching English pronunciation easier to kids who can't get the sounds right. He also suggested some stuff like a line underneath for emphasis, because when you schwa something, it actually like makes it unlikely, much less likely to have the emphasis on it. December. The only one that's not schwad is the middle one, so it's December. December. Kinder. If you were saying something, you know, there's the E, it's not kinder, it's kinder. So you schwa the E and then the emphasis is on the I, kinder. It's cool, right? Yeah, you could do it. I noticed it in orange as well. Like orange, sure, but also orange. Orange is like closer than orange. They say here, like, it's hard for them to, when they see it, they say orange. Well, they don't say the G, they say orang. But like, orange is much closer. So if you schwad the second vowel, if you schwad the, so it was like this, then they would put the emphasis on the O, because it's non-schwa, o, and orange. You sound a bit English, you sound oldie English, orange. I'm going to have an orange. Yeah, but even brother, doesn't really work. Brother, though, the ER does. Brother. But you don't say brother either, it's brother. It doctor. That one's a fun one, because it's OR at the end. It's not doctor, the doctor. It's doctor. See? Schwas are everywhere. Apparently they're the most common vowel sound. So you just schwa a bunch of shit. The dot is great. I should credit the video, but... So I might teach schwa. Schwa. I might teach schwa. There's actually, funnily enough, there is a symbol for it in Mongolian Cyrillic. It's this one. That's like the in earth. The EA in earth was how it was suggested. There's a very famous quote about language, which is, "He who knows one knows none." Now, I think a lot of people take that as, if you know one language, you don't really understand what you lack from learning another one. Like, whole new words that don't translate whatsoever, new perspectives, new rhymes, new music, new, like, I don't know, if you lived somewhere really snowy, you'd have loads of words for snow, but if you didn't live anywhere with any snow, you might not even have a word for snow, or you might have one word for snow that's just like light cold rain or whatever. So if you lived in if you were an Inuit, you might have like 1,000 words for the different like types of snow. That's like the famous example, or ice or whatever. You know, we have sleet, we have snow, we have whatever. Yeah, so if you learn a new language, you get a new perspective on the world, because they would then have like names for things that didn't have names before. Maybe like emotions are framed differently and like categorized differently. It'd be like happy has an analogy, but something like cheerful doesn't, or like melancholy is like a, and in English we've stolen stuff from other languages. Anyway, I like to expand the phrase, he who knows one knows none, in the other direction as well. If you had no language, no ability to express yourself with word, maybe for those of us who have an internal monologue that tends to be in language but is mixed media often, maybe that's even also good / better. Like, or not better, but that frames differently, right? You either close your perspective and then reopen it as much as you can by learning new languages, or you never close your perspective in the first place. You wouldn't have a word for the sort of the spectrum variation of emotion you would have. You just have that emotion, it would come out. I had this conversation with Ewan, I feel, where he's like, language just gets in the way in my brain. Like, why is it so inefficient? Why can't I just have the thought and it just comes straight out? Like, the fact that I have to think words in between to translate the thoughts is very inefficient. I think this phrase kind of captures both sides. He who knows one knows none. You can't really you're locked into expressing the way the language dictates that you express when you learn one, and then you expand your purview and what you can express when you learn more than one. And so the worst position to be in is one. Not really. Having no language sucks. And again, if you don't learn language at a certain time, you then can't afterwards, and that kind of sucks too. But you get my point. I've now been talking for 12. Didn't mean to do that. And I have to go to a class in 13 minutes, and I want to shower because I feel really gross before my lessons. And then I'll get an avocado smoothie, and then more lessons. See, when I'm alone, I like doing the videos because it's fun having someone to talk to, even if that person is me. And I can't respond. So yeah. Schwa. Plus Schwa is just fun to say. Schwa. 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 It's like it was built for Schwa. Schwa. Okay. Your way. What is this? Mongolian. Let's go. Let's go. Lian.